Hi, everybody. It's Professor Mitchell, continuing with Chapter 5. We are at 5.2, which is sum and difference formulas. So this will show you how to find the sine or the cosine or the tangent even of the sum of two angles or the difference of two angles. Okay. So they start off with the formula for the cosine of the difference. And then they show you the other sum and difference formulas. So there is a sum formula for sine, a difference formula for sine, same thing for cosine, a sum formula and a difference formula. And then I will probably just touch briefly on the sum and difference formulas for tangents. You can really get by without those most of the time, just knowing that the tangent is the sine over the cosine. Don't really need another formula for that. Okay, so this, first of all, has a typo in it, doesn't it? I noticed that last night, and I could not edit this thing. So let's just, whoops, that's not the best pen to use. Undo. Okay, of course, that's supposed to be a cosine. I don't know what the CIS is. Okay. All right, the cosine of alpha minus beta is equal to cosine alpha cosine beta plus, notice that it's a minus over here and a plus over here. So the cosine of alpha times the cosine of beta plus the sine of alpha times the sine of beta. Now, for some reason, they thought it would be helpful to put this monster formula into words. Now, sometimes putting formulas into words is helpful. I don't think it's at all helpful with this formula. So I'm going to tell you what I find helpful, and I got this from a classmate of mine many, many years ago. I don't know if he made it up or if he got it from somebody else, but it turns out that there is a sort of rhythm to the cosine formula. And it goes something like cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. All right. Helps me remember that. You'll see this a little later, but when this sign is a plus, this one becomes a minus. Okay, but only for cosine. Only for cosine. So actually, the rhythm that I got from my classmate was for the addition formula, it goes cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. Okay, that is how I remember it. All right, so now let's see how to use it. Okay, so we know that the cosine of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. So they're going to ask me to verify something that I already know by using this difference formula. Okay. So they're asking me to apply the difference formula to cosine of 90 degrees minus 60 degrees. Okay. So here's how that works. Okay. It would be helpful if I had the formula written in here, but remember it was cosine of alpha minus beta. So playing the role of alpha is 90 degrees. Playing the role of beta is 60 degrees. And now we go cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. So cosine alpha, cosine beta plus sine alpha, sine beta. Okay. All right. So so these are values that I know, right? The cosine of 90 degrees is 0. The cosine of 60 degrees is 1/2. The sine of 90 degrees is 1. And the sine of 60 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. So as long as you're allowed to use all of those facts, you can verify that the cosine of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. Okay? So this is kind of a nice thing to do with a new formula. Use it to verify something that you already know. All right, makes the formula a little easier to believe. But most of the time, we're going to be using it to find values that we don't know. So you'll see how that works here in a little bit. Okay, so another example using the difference formula for cosine. They want me to find the exact value, which means the calculator probably won't help, of cosine 70 degrees times cosine 40 degrees plus sine 70 degrees times sine 40 degrees. So if I didn't know about the cosine difference formula, I would have no idea what to do here because 70 degrees and 40 degrees are not special angles. They are not on the unit circle chart that we have, okay? But it just so happens, and this problem was completely rigged to do this, this fits the pattern of the cosine difference formula. So here's your cosine alpha, cosine beta, plus sine alpha, sine beta. We just learned that that's equal to the cosine of alpha minus beta. And the reason I say it's rigged is because 70 degrees minus 40 degrees is 30 degrees. And we know all about 30 degrees, right? The cosine of 30 degrees is square root 3 over 2.